Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to One Hub Racing here for round number 10 of the championship as we take in the Miami Grand Prix. My name is, of course, Mike, and I was going to be taking you through the action here, as always, on a Sunday night. And joined alongside me in the commentary box, it is Max. How's it going, Max?
Yes, I'm very good. How are you? I'm excited for today. Another championship deciding race.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, the championship is well and truly in Jacob's hands coming in tonight. And of course, we are going to run through the championship standings just so you guys can see just exactly how in the hands the championship is for Jacob, who of course leads the way on 159 points. He is 55 points ahead of second place Kinney, which effectively means Kinney, I believe, has to outscore Jacob by, I believe, 13 points to take it to a level at the end of the season if Kinney gets maximum points and Jacob does not score for the rest of the season. Or he has to outscore him by at least 15 points just to make sure fastest laps don't come into the equation. But as it always happens in F1, every point matters and fastest laps could definitely come into the equation. But Jacob, one hand on the championship, 55 points the gap. And a big blow for Kinney here tonight is, of course, he is one of many drivers taking a car wear penalty here tonight, which is going to put him on the back foot to keep this championship going.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, Miami is a track with 3 DRS zones, a lot of straights, but also some very, very dangerous corners. So DRS management is going to be key today, and also having to look after your tires.
Yeah, absolutely. Making sure you keep your tires in check and have a nice rhythm, of course, through all the corners, especially in that first sector. Very easy to get caught onto one of the curbs and lose the car. And of course, the chicane at the end of the middle sector, that is an absolute nightmare. You get that wrong, that could be your race over and done with in a heartbeat. But let's look through the rest of the championship. In third place, we have Lukey on 79 points, 9 points ahead of Larkin, who is currently in fourth, with Salo on 68 points in fifth. Now, these three separated by 11 points, not much in it. But then, of course, you look at the guy in sixth place, Josh, who, of course, came in at Suzuka, won back-to-back races, got a P4 in round number 8. And, of course, last time out, didn't get the points that he needs. But he's technically still there or thereabouts with the possibility of getting himself into that fight if he can score big points here tonight.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be an absolutely interesting last races for this season. I mean, we got this fight going on for first and second place, which isn't over yet. Yeah, and also for third place, nothing is settled right now, and we are absolutely, yeah. How do I say that? We're excited to be here and commentate this and watch the race with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, running through the rest of the standings, Alfredo currently in 7th place on 51 points, then 44 points for Mercury in 8th. 9th place is Mr. Zondel on 43 points, and then 41 points for Papa Scrunch, rounding out the top 10. With Lawrence in 11th on 38 points, 32 points for Adame in 12th. And of course, we got Chris in 13th on 26 points, 24 points for Rowe. And then, of course, we have 23 points for Rich 500. Jonas in 16th on 19 points. 16 points for Seiko in 17th place. And, of course, we got 15 points for Alexa in 18th. And then, of course, we have Sandy in 21st on yet to score a point this season. And then, of course, we have Nicholas, who is on -3. That is how the Drivers' Championship is stacked up. In terms of the Constructors, it is looking like it could very well be in Alpine's hands, and I believe math serves me correct. Of course, 20 points for a race win, 17 points for second place. Obviously, a fastest lap could make it 18. So that's 38 points. Total 38 times 2 is 76. So it's a possibility the constructors could also be wrapped up here tonight, which will be very interesting to see if Alpine can pull it off. But they have an incredible lead at the top of the constructors of 63 points. And remember, 76 points is the gap they need to wrap up the constructors, or 77 is the gap they need to wrap up the constructors. But they're leading the way on 210 points, and of course we got Williams on 137 for the Mercedes in third, and of course we got Ferrari in fourth on 112, 102 for the McLaren boys in fifth place. And of course we have a bit of a gap back to the RBs in sixth on 57 points, 53 points for the Red Bull Racing team. Then we got 50 points for the Haas F1 team. And then in ninth place we have Aston Martin on 31, and then of course we have Sauber bringing up the rear on 20 points. So possible that both championships could be wrapped up here tonight at Miami.
Yeah, that was some very quick math. I gotta admit, I'm thankful you do the math here because I wouldn't be able to do that very quick. Yeah, as we see our first drivers out on the track on their hot lap right now, and now's the time to shine. A good lap can secure your P1 today, or P2, or whatever. A good position. That's absolutely crucial today. I think it's going down to the last sector here for the last corners. Like you mentioned, they're very tricky, and a good exit is absolutely crucial before that long straight in the third sector. So let's see what the drivers can do today.
Yeah, as I appear to be having a little bit of lag issue on board with Kinney coming through the final couple of corners now. Kinney, we see Rowe there with a 26.2. Kinney to the line at 25.7, and probably a big sign of relief for all the drivers here tonight is that it is going to be a dry qualifying and a dry race.
Yeah, I think I'm also a very big fan of dry races and dry qualifying, to be honest, so I can absolutely relate to that. As Kinney did set the fastest lap for right now with a 125.7.
Yeah, Salu across the line up into P5 there. Chris crossing the line up into P7. We got the second Ferrari of Mokwi jumping up there into P8. Lukey on a lap. Larkin has opted to go for a lap on the set of the medium compound tyres. I'm hoping the lag situation that I am seeing right now will obviously be sorted out when we do the lobby restart. It is the game. It is not the stream this week. I can assure you of that because I am viewing it on the games side as well. But Lukey on a flying lap now. DRS wide open. Obviously going to be activated now. Halfway down this long straight, where of course we're going to see plenty of overtakes happen on the rundown into this final braking zone. At the end of that long straight, and it's going to be the scene of plenty of overtaking maneuvers. That is for sure. Lukey now to the line. What's it going to be for the Mercedes? It's going to be a 25.9, and the lag for me is incredibly horrible right now. I don't know if it's like that for you as well, but the lag for me is absolutely abysmal.
I think it doesn't look that bad. Is it the internet connection, or is it the FPS?
Well, I mean, in terms of, it's the game. It is more than anything. It's not nothing's happening on the stream side of things, drop frames or anything like that. So it is. I think it is just my connection to the lobby host, which is causing issues, as Sandy on his way back to the pits. Alfredo also on a in lap as well. We got Papa Squanch on an out lap, so we'll stay on board with the Red Bull, and I'm on board with Papa right now, and I'll see. It's a bit choppy for me on board with Papa, but it's not horrendous. It's definitely better than what I've seen previously. So I think it is just my connection with the lobby host.
Yeah, I think the onboards are a little bit better.
Oh god! As you say that, then it started started lagging. So I spoke a little bit too soon.
We jinxed it. Okay. But I've seen something on the onboard of Papa Squanch. A lot of people are doing right now. They're flicking their wheels to get the tire temperatures right. Did you hear of that?
No, I did not. So that is information there for me. But of course, making sure you get your tire temps in the correct operating window definitely going to help you out massively here. Papa Squanch in the first sector split, flying through those S's. Very important to hook up the S's, of course. You gotta get them right because it's very easy just to get onto one of those curbs and lose a bit of traction, but also easy to invalidate there. But coming down the DRS straight now is Papa Squanch. He was purple in sector 1. Let's see how accurate that purple sector is going to be as we come now through the heart of sector 2, approaching the chicane, and the chicane is lethal, and if you get that chicane wrong, that's race over.
Yes, absolutely. As also Kine is now on his second push lap. And yeah, talking about Papa Squanch, he also had a very consistent season. Besides these DNFs, he always scored some points, and I think with that time, he's absolutely capable of having a good race.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, a driver that is currently struggling somewhat with the lap times right now is Jacob, who is only a tenth up, a tenth and a half up. Obviously, he's in the middle sector now, so he can find more time there. As we get a terrible camera angle, so we have to switch to on board. So apologies if the lag is going to be unbearable when we're on board with Jacob here, coming through the chicane now, and an invalidation there for Jacob. He's under big pressure now to get a lap in at the end of the session, because I don't believe you're going to be able to get 4 runs in this qualifying session. It's definitely going to be a free run and done sort of thing.
So yeah, that opens the door for Kine. If Jacob can't pick up his pace right now.
Oh, and Kinney goes even quicker.
Yes, that's amazing. So yeah, Jacob now has to get a good lap together. So otherwise, his championship could be in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is currently a Williams 1-2 with a Mercedes, an all Mercedes second row in third and fourth for Josh and Lukey. Currently on board with Salo, coming down the long DRS straight into the hard braking zone, getting the car hooked up, and now in towards the chicane, which can cause a lot of issues here, but Salo navigates it well. Gonna look for a good run now onto this back straight, and very easy just to have a little snap at the rear coming out of that corner, which can really cost you on the run all the way down to the next braking zone.
I think that's the most important part to get right. So we got 7 minutes to go, so I don't want to assume anything, but the Williams drivers today could turn over the championships, not only the constructors, but also keep the drivers' championship alive. Because both Alpines are now in 12th and 15th place. So that could open the door for the Williams drivers quite a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, Jacob and Alfredo need a big lap here towards the end of qualifying to get themselves up the order. Obviously, Kinney, one of the drivers that will be serving a car wear penalty here tonight, so he's just trying to qualify in the best position he can. But is he going to be able to carve his way back through the field? That is going to be the key thing, because remember, last week he had a connection issue which saw him get disconnected from the lobby. He was able to rejoin, but he was down towards the back of the field, and he came back to win the race. And Kinney is going to be hoping that he can do that here tonight, come through from towards the back of the field and carve his way into a race winning position.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was absolutely amazing. What he did last week, and I think, yeah, what will he do when he can start in one of the top positions? That's gonna be absolutely amazing. So, yeah, let's see who's right now on an outlap.
Right now on an outlap, you got Papa Squanch. Alfredo, I believe, is on an in-lap. Papa Squanch just getting his lap started. We do have a Mercedes in coming towards the final sector, I believe is on an in-lap. We also have Ferrari on an outlap with Salo as well. So we'll stay on board. Actually, no, we'll jump on board with Salo because... Actually, no, we'll stay on board with Papa because Papa's on a flying lap now. I was about to say Papa's on a outlap, but no, he is on a flying lap. So we'll stay on board with Papa Squanch here as we come through the first sector split. And he is a 10th up in the first sector. And I think we could be seeing Papa Squanch gain plenty of time in this middle sector. Of course, it is one of the sectors where you can find a decent bit of time, whether it's just how you take that chicane or just the traction coming out of the very tight left-hander onto the back straight, but also the release that you get to come onto the second DR straight in the middle sector. It's all about getting the exits that you need. Papa Squanch now 3.5 tenths up in the middle sector.
So as Larkin mentions that the frame rate is not too pretty again. Yes, but we now know the problem. It's unfortunately in the game, as when we jump on the onboards, we have a fluent picture, and then
Yeah, it is.
It starts.
For those obviously talking about the stream quality right now, obviously as Papa Squanch improves with a 26.4, I can say obviously the game is lagging for me, so I believe it's my connection to the lobby host, which may mean I might have to do a quick little restart on F1 after qualifying is over and done with and rejoin the lobby. Hopefully that will sort it. But we'll have to wait and see. But it is the game that is lagging at the moment, not the stream. So I do apologize for that.
As we have now
Salo to the line, up to P6, finds around about 800ths of a second. Chris exiting now, Kermit also exiting on outlaps. And this is going to be big now. We're coming into the final 3 minutes of qualifying. It's important to get out in a bit of clear air as well. You don't want to be leaving it too late. So we're starting to see the cars now flood out of the pits. But who will be collecting pole position? Right now it is Kinney on provisional pole, but of course he won't stay there. He will be serving a wear penalty. Josh currently P2. I believe will take that pole position from Kinney. Zondel in P3, Lukey in P4, and then Salo in P6, Chris in P7, Sandy P8, Kermit P9, Papa P10, Mokri, Alfredo, Jacob, Jonas, Larkin. That is the order currently. And obviously around the track like this, qualifying down the order, while it may seem bad in terms of just not where you want to be, it could also be a blessing because you can keep it nice and calm in the first lap and let chaos happen in front of you.
Yeah, and as we saw today in the real F1, there can also every time there can be a safety car. I think we mentioned a lot these last two corners before the big straight in sector 3, and I think there can be many incidents, there can happen so much things, so you never know if you have to like um, yeah, invent your strategy completely new. So everything can happen. So I don't think today the qualifying place is like the place you will finish the race.
100%. It is going to be a mad race, that is for sure. Will we see any safety cars here tonight, though? That's going to be key because, of course, we saw a safety car in P4 earlier on today. There was no safety car in P3. Will we see a safety car here in P2?
So the chances are 50-50. We saw one safety car and we didn't in the other race we didn't see one. But I think the first two corners of the race, they're also like they're very wide, so you you can easily underestimate them when you try to drive like too wide or three wide into them. Getting that one place, if the driver in front has a bad start. So I think that can happen a lot of things, and also in the
Kermit up to
high speed
P4.
corners. Covered before.
Kermit up to P4, 25.9 for him. Lukey on a flying lap. I believe it is going to be one of the Williams. I'll be the first one to see the checker flag, and it's going to be Mr. Zondel coming through the final couple of corners now. He has a Red Bull in behind him, if I believe that is probably Papa squanching behind him, but Zondel there does not improve on his time. Sandy, I'm sorry, it was that did find a little bit of time. Rowe coming through. He's going to go up into P4 ahead of Kermit. Kinney improves the lap time. Championship leader. Apparently he's on an out lap. But let's see as he comes across the line. Yeah, he's going to see the checker flag. So Jacob's going to be starting from P14. Also, we'll run through the carway and the carway penalties in just a moment's time. Alfredo going to come through and he's going to be up into P3. A great lap there for Alfredo. Gets him right in the mix and perfect place really to kind of help Jacob out in this race. As Chris takes to the exit road, Papa Squanch, I believe, is going to be coming into the pit lane. And I think that is qualifying over and done with. But in fact, no, Papa Squanch, he's still in the lap to the line. And I think that was P8 as he crossed the line there for Papa Squanch. Yes, it was.
Oh, great P8 for him. So
We'll quickly run you through the order. And while we do that, I'll also make sure to do a little restart on F1 whilst we have the dummy lobby, and then whilst everyone is getting themselves restarted, I will be restarting the game to hopefully help with the game lag issues. As right now I'm currently on a black screen, so I can't actually see these. There we go. I wasn't able to see the standings, unfortunately. I believe that is more to do with the lag situation there. So we will jump on to this screen right now while I reset the game and get myself going again. But who impressed you during that qualifying session there, Max?
of course, Kinney, he had this P1. He needed this P1, I think, and also Kermit surprised me quite well. Yeah. Who was it who surprised you the most?
Honestly, I believe at the end, Alfredo with a big lap time getting himself up the order to help his teammate out. I think that was crucial for him and for Alpine, and not only that, but also to help Jacob out late into this race. Obviously, we are going to go through the engine and the gearbox penalties now. There are 5 drivers taking a engine penalty here tonight. So we have Larkin, Seiko, Rowe, Nicholas, and Kinney all taking engine penalties. So they will drop down the order. And then, of course, for the gearbox penalties, we have Mokri, Alfredo, and Chris taking a gearbox penalty. So Alfredo got himself a very good qualifying time, but he is going to be dropping down 5 places due to that gearbox penalty.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Kinney with his engine penalty will drop 10 places. That's right. And Alfredo with his gearbox will just drop 5 places. So yeah, he can be absolutely crucial to, like you said, for his teammate to maybe get him to the championship tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, with so many drivers taking the engine penalty here tonight, it's going to be interesting to see how they come back for the field. Of course, Kinney, as we know, a very quick driver can come through the field. Larkin is going to be coming through from, I believe, from pretty much the back of the grid. Obviously, not had the greatest of qualifying sessions, did Larkin, but he is going to be able to come through the field from the back. So hopefully, Larkin will be able to make something happen in this race as well.
Yeah, I think I'm very excited now. As we get the starting orders sorted out, we will see a great race, and I absolutely hope they do their racing. They race clean, of course, but also they they don't give anything to each other, so they really trying to win their championship, or their 3rd place if you want, because that's also absolutely not decided, and as we mentioned, very, very close.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Before we go any further, let's quickly go through our sponsors and partners here at One Hub Racing. Of course, our title sponsor at Delta.app. Of course, for over 18s only, track all of your investments in one app, make smarter decisions like the world's top investors, and track your journey to success with Delta. If you use the command !Delta in the Twitch chat or click the link in the YouTube description, you'll be able to use it to track your investments. Of course, Next Level Racing, who provide some fantastic prizes for the league. Of course, sim racing setups as well. Driver of the days, of course, get a £10 voucher. Driver of the season, £100 voucher. And of course, we have Pure Sim Gear as well as Vespertine, our partner. We saw earlier the standings, of course, through Sim Grid. Without them, we would be using Google Forms, which will be an absolute nightmare. And last but not least, the Mental Health Foundation. So, everything is now set. We have all the ingredients here for what could be a very exciting race. We've got some quick drivers taking penalties that are going to be coming through the field. And we've got some drivers that are fighting tooth and nail for position in the championship. That battle for 3rd in the championship is going to be key. The battle for Kinney to try and keep the championship alive in 1st going to be key. The Constructors Championship as well. Alfredo getting himself up there to try and battle with Zondo. But of course, Alfredo with that penalty is going to struggle a little bit, I think, to keep with Zondo. But it's one thing to do it in qualifying, a whole nother thing to do it in the race.
Yeah, I think we couldn't ask for more entertainment tonight, and we also got a little comment from Jacob on his qualifying performance. He says his head is not in it today,
Ooh,
so I
so
hope this changes in the race.
I mean, honestly, I mean, like this is one of those races where if you're not in a rhythm, it could be bad news. And of course, Jacob there saying his head's not in it. It could be a very interesting race ahead for him. Of course, coming into tonight, we do have uh, some drivers that were, of course, called in to the press conference. Of course, Luki was called in to the drivers' press conference this week. The question was put to him. Welcome. It's been a very strong season from yourself with some great results, but that win just being tantalizingly out of reach. With 3 races to go, where do you think you can finish, and can you get that win before the end of the season? Luki responding in the press conference saying, honestly, it's been a very poor season. My goal was to challenge for the championship, and it's been a massive failure. My quality has been beyond shocking, so near enough every race has been a comeback drive. For now, I think third would be my best in the championship, but I can't see myself getting a win. But I will try my best. So, I mean, Luki not happy with how his season's gone so far, and of course that goes to the level that Luki is holding himself at. That he feels that even though he's third in the championship, he feels he's underperformed.
I think on one side, of course, I can relate because you always want to be at absolutely peak performance. But on the other side, he's pretty harsh with himself because he didn't qualify very bad these last races, and also I think besides this 113th place, he had a more or less consistent season with a little bit of ups and downs, but to stay on P3 after all is absolutely good.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, also called in to uh, the media day for this week was, of course, Alfie and Mokri, who are in a bit of a rivalry at the moment. The question was put to him: you guys are currently fighting it out for the potential top 6 finish. With still an outside chance of pinching third overall with 3 races left. What risks are you guys? What risks are you guys will to take in order to potentially snatch a third overall, and will you be able to keep it clean? Alfredo puts in, I think third place in the championship is too far away for me to clinch at this stage of the season. My aim is to finish the season on a high by winning the Constructors' Championship with Jacob, and maybe a potential top 5 finish on the drivers. I'll carry on doing what I've been doing this season with consistent driving, with some risky overtakes if needed. I'll always keep it clean and fair racing. Looking forward to an exciting final 3 races of the season. And Mokri also said third, a bit of a stretch. I'll be lucky to get top 5 in his opinion, but he'll try his best and he'll keep racing hard and but fair as usual. So that is how obviously Mokri and Alfredo, of course, looking at it, they both feel that third is out of reach for him. I'm not entirely sure if third is out of reach, but there is a possibility if they can capitalize here tonight, they could get themselves into that battle for third in the championship.
Yeah, I'm absolutely I agree with that because I think yeah they are a few points away, of course, but like we always said, anything could happen, and they could capitalize from this race a lot, and they still have then like I think 2 races, right? We have Abu Dhabi and Vegas coming up, so also 2 races where a lot of things can happen. So you know, like they said, they want to give 100%, race hard and but race fair, and yeah, that's what we want to see. and who knows what could happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want everyone to know I did do a restart of the F1 game, so hopefully we don't experience the same kind of game lag issues that we had in qualifying. So hopefully that is all fixed. But time will tell for sure, as the drivers now have to get themselves mentally prepared for 29 laps here at Miami. And around a circuit like this, you lose a bit of concentration. That's it. Your front wing's gone.
Yeah, absolutely. And the front wing is crucial here. Because yeah, I know you. I mean, you.
Oh, here we
First
go.
of all, we do the race start.
5 red lights gets underway here, and lights are out, and we are underway. And it looks like a very good start there from Josh, as it appears like the restart hasn't really helped too much. So hopefully the lobby will just settle down for me a little bit, but it was a bit of lag at the start of the race. Apologies for that for the viewers. Absolutely nothing I can do there, but a great start there from Josh. Zondel holding position as Salo and Alfredo and Papa having a bit of a battle going on right now for P5, as Salo is going to try to look to try and get 2 moves for the price of 1 here, as there's a bit of lag going on. So I'm not sure again if this is if there's lag for the drivers, but there's certainly lag for me watching as a spectator right now.
That's a little bit of lagging going on, but Papa Squanch is now defending his position, his 5th place against Alfredo now, as they are exiting the corner right now.
Yep, running down this long back straight. Papa Squanch holding onto position, but the battling with himself, Alfredo and Salo, has dropped them out of DRS range of the cars ahead. But you can see the bit of lag that's going on there. So we take that with a pinch of salt. The gaps in that towards Luki up ahead, but Luki does appear to be out of DRS range. But look at Kinney, what a start from him, as he is bouncing around for me, but he's up in P6 as everything seems to have calmed down now.
Yeah, he's the big winner of this race start. He made up 5 places. So as Jacob lost 1 place, unfortunately, so that opens the door for Kinney even wider. And I think he now he looks motivated to get some more positions.
Yeah, absolutely. As you see right there, Kinney up 5 positions from the start of this race, about to make it 6. He's doing everything he can to keep the championship alive here, as Alfredo's going to try and fight. Of course, going to try and do his best to help his teammate out in holding Kinney back, but unable to do so. Kinney able to get through. Chris up 4 places as well, another big gainer off the start. The big losers off the start, of course, Papa Squanch down 3 places, Sandy down 3 places, and Rowe all down 3 places.
Yeah, what a shame for Papa Squanch. He did hold on to that 5th place that whole first lap, and he really did fight for it. And that's a shame he lost. He lost a lot of places right there. But yeah, I think life is going on, and he will try to get these places back.
Yeah, absolutely. As Luki does get the move done on Kermit, up into the podium position now goes Luki. It is now a Mercedes double podium, but Kinney is absolutely flying towards the front, doing everything he can to keep this championship alive here. Of course, Jacob down in P10. If Kinney was to take the race win and Jacob is down in P10, I believe the championship does still stay alive.
Yes, absolutely. The championship then still stays alive, and Kinney would make a big step towards Jacob in the championship standings right there. But I don't think Jacob will just sit in P10 and wait for this race to be over, even though he says he's not there with his head right now exactly 100%, but I think he will try to get some good places and get some good points.
Yeah, and here
As we have
goes
the-
Kinney now about to attack Lukey for that final podium position. And of course, he's using a lot of the battery to try and get through. And get through he does. Up into P3 goes the Williams, the championship leader. But runs a little bit deep there. So Lukey does get the run back on him. And Lukey holds on to P3 here as we try to see what's going on through a sea of lag at the moment for me, but it looks like Lukey's held on to a P3. Kinney has to settle for P4, and if I'm Kinney, maybe I'm happy just staying a lap behind Lukey, just save the battery back up.
Yes, as Luki is right now also in the ERS advantage. He has a little bit more of it as we have a yellow flag coming up. Someone's come off the track. It's
And that's Papa.
Squanch.
That's Papa. It looks like Papa is moving on track, so I think that might be a retirement on track. I'm not 100% sure. So Papa Squanch, unfortunately for him, I think has retired on track, which is not great to see. Alfredo trying to get a move done on Salo here for P6. P6. As Alfredo all over the back of that Ferrari, unable to get through. We got Jacob now up into P9. He's trying to make some progress in this race, so he's going to be looking to try and get himself up the order. Kinney has got through on Lukey now. Lukey will have DRS to come back at him. Meanwhile, at the front, Zondel and Josh side by side to come through turns 17, and Zondel able to take the race lead away from Josh as we got more yellow flags in the back.
Yeah, so yeah, that's absolutely unfortunate for Red Bull right now because Papa Squanch is out, had to retire, and Santi is now in 14th place with already 3 seconds on penalty, so not a good race for them.
No, absolutely not. As Chris has managed to get through on Salo, and Chris, of course, making some very good progress up in the P7 now. He's got support in the chat as well, saying Forza Chris in the chat, so a lot of support going on right now for the Ferrari drivers. Of course, for Chris. Chris up into P7 ahead of the Ferrari driver of Salo, and looking to try and catch up to the top 6, but the top 6, 2.3 up the road, going to be very difficult to try and reel that gap in.
Yeah, so from 3rd to 6th we have this little DRS train right now, so they're gonna be a little bit hard to get, but let's see what they can do. And also, let's see what Kinney can do. We have a battle in the front.
I think contact was there between Zondel and oh no, it was lag. Sorry, on my end there was a massive moment for Zondel, but yeah, it was pure lag, so we're gonna have to be careful of that. I am going to try my best to make sure I can bring the action as best as possible, but it is difficult with the lag spikes. Unfortunately, it is just my connection to the lobby that is an issue. So hopefully it does sort itself out as we proceed through the laps. But Kinney dragging Lukey along as they are both closing in on the top 2, who are of course battling for that race lead.
Yes, so Kinney took a lot of time from the gap to Mr. Zontor, and I think maybe in the next few laps he can be there to fight for number 2, or do you think Zontor would let him through to support him in the Drivers' Championship? What do you think?
I think if Kinney's on the back of Zondel will move over to allow Kinney through. Kinney obviously fighting for to keep the Drivers' Championship alive, and Zondel, of course, will not want to hinder Kinney's opportunity to do so, as Zondel is going to sit in behind Josh for the time being, as Kinney, Lukey, and Kermit, of course, all line the stern in 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Alfredo has
Enters
dropped.
the pits.
And this was the one thing I was going to bring up. When does someone pull the trigger into the pits and go for the undercut? The undercut very good around here as well. So this could be a big lap here for Kinney. Of course, going on to set the hard compound tyres. And I tell you what, if Kinney can keep his tyre temps in check, he's going to be absolutely flying. Of course, tyre temps is going to be a major thing around here, but of course, the wear is going to be horrendous on those hards as well. But look at this now, Kermit on the back of Lukey for P3. And Kermit is going to look to the outside line, draw alongside with DRS. He's run out of VRS, so as they come under braking, Kermit going to try to hang it around the outside, but no, Lukey's got that covered all day, every day.
Yeah, Lukey doing a great job at defending that 3rd place, and yeah, absolutely the undercut. Undercut can be absolutely powerful here. I mean, Kinney now has a lot of free air, just 6 seconds to the next driver, so just drive, just get that time in, get that laps down, and I think yeah, absolutely, as we have a little bit of contact in the battle between 3rd and 4th place.
Well, Zondel just overtook Josh for the lead of the race and then comes into the pits, and Lukey and Kermit also into the pits as well. So let's jump on board with Kinney, who is coming through the final couple of corners, and let's see what this undercut has done for him. Versus his teammate, who was, of course, coming out of the pits now. Kinney, who was about 2 seconds off the back of his teammate, has managed to get the undercut done on his teammate. So Kinney now into the net race lead here.
Yeah, so that could be quite a comfortable gap if he can take the lead here.
Well, I think importantly as well, Kinney has Zondel behind him as a rear gunner. So Zondel will be able to help Kinney in making sure that Kinney does get the race win here, as I believe we just had a change there towards the front, as Larkin, I believe, has just got the move done on Jacob. Of course, Larkin started on the set of the hard compound tyres, and these hards are now starting to come into play as Jacob gets oh so close to that inside wall in the chicane, but he does get away with it without nipping that inside. But I think Jacob, obviously leaving it longer on the set of the mediums, is going to hinder him once he comes into the pits.
Yeah, I think so too, but do you think these pit stops were... I mean, we saw Quais and Kinney doing being the first ones to pit. Do you think the other pit stops were quick reaction on that to try to minimize the undercut?
I don't believe so. I believe that is just the normal pit window from lap 7 to lap 9. As Kermit looks to try and get a move done on Alfredo around the outside. Of course, Alfredo on the medium compound tyre is going to hold that position. And he does hold that position indeed. So Alfredo getting the job done on Kermit and staying ahead of him in the run into turn 1. Yeah, but I believe it was just the normal pit window now for the drivers. Of course, if they're doing double hards, they do want to make sure that they pit around lap 7, lap 8 to come off a set of mediums.
Yeah, absolutely. That could be also true, as we can do a little support in the chat. Sky did his time trial around Spain, and what should he do with it? You can send that in the Quali League section of the Discord server, and then you can also ask some moderators for help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just real quick, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you just got to submit it into the qualifying thread. Make sure that is submitted, and of course, after tonight's action, one of the admins will most likely reach out to you and try to get you placed in a tier that is representative of your pace.
as we have now Larkin in the lead right now, but he hasn't been to a pit stop.
Yes,
so
in Discord,
this
in
can-
Discord, Sky.
Yep, in the One Hub Racing Discord. You can also find that under this stream in the caption.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be a long race for Larkin here, because while he is in the race lead at the moment, he's effectively almost a full pit stop behind the net race leader in Kinney now. So Larkin's going to have a lot of work to do. Jacob, after making his pit stop, he's come out now in P10. And 3.2 is the gap between himself and Salu. And Salu does have DRS on Chris. So going to be very difficult for Jacob to make progress in this race now.
Absolutely, as we see the undercut, as we have a yellow flag in the last sector, but maybe just some debris. As I want to say, the undercut worked very well for Kidney here. He now is in the net lead, as you told us a few laps ago, but now you can see that very clear. And yeah, his tires are 1 lap older, but I don't think there's gonna be a big disadvantage for him.
I mean, for Larkin, I think it's going to be a disadvantage. Like, starting on the hards, he's effectively now a full pit stop behind. But for Kinney, it's dreamland right now, because he's in the net race lead and he's got his teammate directly behind him as a rear gunner to make sure that no one in behind can really challenge him for the race win. Lukey and Josh, I believe Josh might have been the cause of that possible yellow flag earlier, because he is behind Lukey now, and I don't recall Lukey getting the undercut on him. I might be mistaken, but I don't recall it. But then you got Alfredo on the mediums looking to charge through as well. Kermit just in behind, trying to stick with Alfredo, knowing that Alfredo is going to drag him up to Josh and Lukey. So the battle for P4 is going to heat up in a few laps time once Alfredo gets within that 1 second window.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see Alfredo, Josh, and Lukey now very close to each other, as Josh is now. We got a Mercedes duel here, as Josh is overtaking Lukey.
Yeah, of course, the duel, I believe, will be not necessarily a duel, so to say. I think they'll be very happy just to trade DRS back and forth with each other, and I think that is how it will go. As once I go on board with Lukey, there's a lot of lag issues for me there, so I do believe it's just my connection to Lukey, obviously the lobby host, which is causing the lag issues that you're seeing on stream, which I do apologize for, guys.
Yeah, maybe I wanted to make it a little bit more exciting than it actually is, but yeah, can also so they will drag each other along with the DRS, and so it's gonna be Williams and the 2 Mercedes. Maybe they will have their fair share of a fight. I think they are 4.5 seconds away right now, the 2 Mercedes from the Williams. And let's see what they can do with that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they are going to think differently with the strategy. Of course, maybe try to go for the undercut themselves, or maybe they hope that what's happened to Zondel continues to happen, because Zondel looks like he's dropping out of DRS range of his teammate, and of course if that happens, Zondel potentially could fall back, but that was a lag spike, unfortunately. So again, the lag causing me to think that something's happened when it hasn't actually happened. But Zondel just holding on to DRS right now, Kinney, but if he does drop out of DRS, maybe we could see the likes of Josh, Lukey, Alfredo and Kermit close up on the second Williams car.
Yeah, I think it's the best for Kinney if Zondel can stay in his DRS range as long as possible to keep the fight away in the last laps then. Yeah, The Mercedes not really closing the gap right now. I think they saved some ERS if I see that right. At least Josh's battery is absolutely full, and let's see if he can maybe manage to get a little bit closer to the Williams.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Josh there, 89% on his battery, 90% on his battery. You got Lukey on around about 50%, Alfredo on 50%. You got Kermit that is on about 25%, and obviously Zondel currently in P2. He's drained his entire battery. He's got absolutely nothing. Kinney's on about 30%, so Zondel needs to make sure that he can get his battery back up, because right now he's had to burn a lot just to keep with his teammate. And if he does lose DRS to Kinney, we're going to see that gap between him and Josh close down, because Josh has so much more ERS to play with.
Yeah, that's the thing. Maybe, I don't know, do you think the Williams should do the same DRS strategy here, like overtaking and giving each other some DRS?
Potentially, I think, obviously, if Josh and Lukey's pace are relatively equal, they're not going to lose a huge amount of time by switching back and forth with each other. But the issue will be, obviously, right now we see Josh has so much ERS, which shows that he's not deploying as much as Lukey, so it shows that he's got more raw pace than Lukey. So if Lukey does overtake Josh, that might slow not only obviously Josh up, but it will slow Lukey up not having DRS. And right now that could really put him back with the likes of Alfredo, Kermit, and now Salo has joined the party. And what I was going to say, obviously Alfredo now dropping back as those mediums are starting to wear 6 laps on the mediums. Remember, everyone came into the pits at the end of lap 7, lap 8, so they are starting to come towards the end, and the hards are now starting to come into play versus Alfredo's mediums.
Yes, we have Solo taking over the position of Kermit and now being right behind Alfredo, and as you mentioned, he is on the medium tires, and as we say that, he is driving to the pits.
Yeah, honestly, probably what Salo would have wanted, just Alfredo to get out of the way, give Salo a bit of clear air so he can push to try and catch up to the Mercedes in Sector 1. And you're seeing that gap, it is coming down by a little bit, but is it going to be enough?
That's the thing, but it was, yeah, very clever from Solo. He overtook Kermit on the last corner, and before Alfredo got into the pits, he had, as you mentioned, some clean air, which he's using right now. As Lukey is now, when I see that correct, out of the DRS range of Josh.
Yeah, Lukey, I think Josh has just said, right, I've tried to help you as best as I can. I've got to push on now to try and catch up to the top 2. Lukey, I think, yeah, he's got a lot of work to do now to try and keep these guys behind. And Lukey's a very good driver and a very great defensive driver as well. So Lukey, you will see a bit of a defensive masterclass from the Mercedes. I can assure you of that, but will it be enough to keep the Ferrari of Salo, the McLaren of Kermit, and then of course we've got Jacob now up into P7. He's just overtaken Chris down the inside in towards turn 17, but Chris with the switchback contact, and that is Chris into the wall, front wing gone. Into the pit lane goes Chris there, and heartbreak there for the Haas driver.
Absolutely. I mean, good thing he didn't need to go another lap with no wing, but absolutely heartbreak, of course.
And of course this is important now for championship permutations. Obviously Jacob currently in P7. Kermit has a 3-second time penalty, so effectively let's make Jacob P6 with our time penalty, as we see Salo getting through on Lukey with DRS. Salo now up into P4. That effectively would be 8 points right there for Jacob, which of course I believe would be enough to seal the championship here tonight.
So let's look at our at our clever sheet here we got from our data guy from Cam. Jacob is now in P7. That means if Jacob finishes in P7, even with the fastest lap, nothing happens right now.
Well, I mean, if Kinney takes the win, that's 20 points. Obviously, your fastest lap would be 21 points. Obviously, the gap coming in tonight is 55. So, obviously, the maximum amount of points that is remaining on the table for the drivers is 63 points in total. But, of course, Jacob now up into P6 due to Zondel coming in and getting a fresh set of tyres on. Jacob now on the back of Kermit. If Jacob gets through on Kermit, that's 8 points for him, which would put him in position. If Kinney doesn't win with the fastest lap, I believe that mathematically then it's completely over. If Jacob finishes 6th and Kinney wins but not with the fastest lap, then it's mathematically over and Jacob wins.
That could be true, as we have a yellow flag, one of the Red Bulls.
Yeah, Sandy, unfortunately,
Not a
having a
good day at
moment.
all. So that, yeah, that's gonna be interesting, but Jacob has to do another stop, as also Kinney has to do another stop, and I think now it's absolutely important, as Jacob is right where Kermit is. Kermit has a 3 seconds penalty, so it shouldn't be too much of a threat.
Oh.
But interestingly, Jacob does not have any ERS left right now, so...
But he has got the move done on Kermit, at least from my end. I don't know if it's actually been done, but he has still stayed ahead of Kermit. So Jacob up into P3 ahead of Kermit. So that is fantastic for him. And Kermit picks up another 3-second time penalty. So that pretty much writes him out of a top 5 finish here. It's going to be very interesting come the end of the race, of course. The maths will be mathing right now. But obviously you got Alfredo, Kinney, Zondel, Lukey, who have all made their second stops as Sandy has retired from the race. I believe also Chris, Rowe and Mokri has also made their second stops. We'll quickly have a little look at the stops right now. And there you go, from Zondel down, everyone has made their second stop. It's all going to be about where Jacob funnels out once he makes his second stop here.
Yes, absolutely. So Kinney did his second stop, I think this lap, or end of the last lap. And yeah, now Jacob has to time his stop at absolutely perfection. Otherwise, this championship
Stays
will
out.
he stays out.
Kermit and Salo in. So interesting. I mean, I don't know about you. I wonder if Jacob has gone double medium in this race. Maybe he's trying to stretch these hards out just a little bit longer, so he's got mediums at the end.
I think, yeah, maybe he's now going in the last stint for absolutely 100%. So now he tries to make the mediums work for a few more laps, because we now got 10 laps to go, and right now Josh is in the lead.
Kinney on Jonas getting the job done. Kinney now up into P4.
As we have, I think we have Kinney as the net leader right now. Though he isn't leading right now, but after the pit stops, he will be in the lead again.
Yeah, absolutely. He's effectively a pit stop ahead of his championship rival in Jacob, as we should be seeing Kinney maybe having a little look to the inside. Of course, there's a bit of lag going on, so I don't want to say he's got the move done yet. I'm going to wait and see what happens. Zondel looks like he's got the move done on Jonas. So Zondel now up in the P5. Jacob is in, so lap 20, Jacob is into the pits. Will it be a fresh set of hards or will it be a set of medium compound tyres for the Alpine? It's mediums.
That's mediums. So you were right. He will now make this stint. Yeah, go very long. I think 9 laps for mediums is not that.
It's doable. It is doable. Of course, we saw in the first stint that Jacob did 9 laps on his mediums before coming in and putting on a set of the hards. So Jacob can take these tyres 9 laps as Kinney gets through on Larkin, and Zondel's going to follow his teammate through as well. So both the Williams now got themselves through on Larkin. What this is going to mean now, obviously, in terms of the championship, is can Jacob finish high enough to score enough points to seal the championship here tonight?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the question. I think we all ask ourselves, because Kinney right now net lead and Jacob now P9. There are some Larkin and Jonas and Josh. They have to do their stops.
And Josh is in.
Josh is in right now, so Kinney takes over the lead right now.
Josh going mediums as well, as to be expected, and I believe Larkin will do the exact same thing when he comes into the pits also. So it's going to be interesting. Salo with the fastest lap of the race, which means obviously the fastest lap point is not going either way of Kinney or Jacob right now, but you'd expect Josh or Jacob on those mediums to potentially walk away with the fastest lap here. Or potentially Larkin once he puts on a set of mediums in about a lap's time. It's going to be very interesting because right now, obviously, waiting on Jonas and Larkin to make their second pit stops. Once that happens, that does promote Jacob up into P7.
Yeah, and I think he could try to go for the fastest lap right now. His tires are 1 lap old, but he doesn't have a lot of ERS, so he gotta get a quick sum of this energy to get his fastest lap in.
Well, we're going to see if Jacob can get it done. Remember, the gap coming into tonight, 55 points. The gap that needs to be there for Jacob to win the championship is 43 points.
And that's absolutely interesting. I mean, you have to drive a very, very fast lap, faster than anybody else, and you can't mess up anything. If you cut one corner, everything is ruined, and you really have to keep it together. That's as he does it on 128.627.
Now it's going to be if Josh can take that away from him, because Josh right now, obviously P5, he's about to start his first lap on a set of those mediums, which will be a competitive lap time. Of course, the previous lap would have been obviously the pit lane exit, so he definitely wouldn't have set a fastest lap then. But he is going to have something that Jacob did not have, which was DRS, and he is going to have DRS on Alfredo here. And is Alfredo going to try to back up Josh so that Jacob keeps the fastest lap here?
And I think no, I think he does. I think they're going a little bit slower than usual, but I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure.
Well, we're going to have to see here, because with DRS, Josh should be able to get the move done on Alfredo relatively simply, as we get the old lag spike going on that back straight. It seems to be the back straight every time with the lag is at its worst, but Josh now up into P4. Is this going to be the fastest lap for the Mercedes? Larkin is now into the pits, which in my opinion, it's not the
it's
fastest lap. It's not the fastest lap. So Jacob right now is going to be promoted into P6. That's 9 points at the moment that Jacob is collecting. Of course, he was 55 points ahead. Of course, 9 points onto that would be 64 points. And of course, Kinney is going to get 20 for winning the race, which will bring it down to 44 points, which means Jacob right now in position to win the Drivers' Championship.
What an amazing race. I mean, Jacob didn't have a very good, he really didn't have a good qualifying, but he fought his way back, as Kinney did last week. He said he wasn't there with his head, but I'm pretty sure he got his head in when we sorted out the start order, and he's doing amazing right now.
Yep. Jacob right now on course to be the P2 Drivers' Champion. But will anyone stop him? Will we see any resistance? Of course, Alfredo and Salo having a bit of a battle for P4. I'm taking out a pinch of salt because of the lag situation there. But, yeah, Salo ahead of Alfredo. Does Josh take the fastest lap away? No, he doesn't.
So we have Kinney in the lead, now riding very comfortable. And Solo in P4, so we can take a little look at our P3, at the P3 for the championship standings. And as we have Solo in P4, Luki in P7.
And Larkin in P11.
Larkin in P11, so he won't be a big threat for Luki right now, but that can also change throughout the next races.
Well, right now this is a big race for Alfredo and Josh to kind of close up on Luki and Larkin in this race. Obviously, Salo looking to retake third place in the championship, which he's on course to do at this moment in time. Zondel, of course, is in the mix also, so Zondel could be closing in on that battle for P3 as well. Kinney doing everything he can to keep the championship alive, but at the moment the championship is going the way of Jacob. I believe the Constructors Championship, I believe the Constructors does stay alive for another week. We'll have to do some quick maths in the back, but Larkin battling out with the likes of Jonas and Chris, as Jonas goes deep into the into turn 17 and goes off track. He rejoins and he's right behind Rowe now, and Rowe's into the pits.
And he collects his 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's very unfortunate, but I think something we all can relate to. We all have done at one point. You have to experience it at one time at least.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I think Rowe has potentially thrown away a chance to get an extra point here, because he has come into the pits and he's put on a set of softs, going for the fastest lap of the race. But him doing that might have also triggered Mokwi or Jonas to go into the pits and go for fastest lap as well, which of course now, obviously the 10-second time penalty, if I'm Mokwi, I'm 100% going to risk it now for that extra point, because he's in the points right now in P12. With that 10-second, he is going to jump ahead of Rowe at the end on penalties. Mokwi could have a shot here of getting 2 points.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he could have done his fastest lap and then snatched the 11th place at the 12th and 11th place away. When when Mokwi and Jonas would try to match that fastest lap or to go faster. But yeah, absolutely. I think he found a rain opportunity there, but like I said, you know, at one point everybody has done it, and I think, yeah, it will be a lesson.
I think this will seal the championship right now because Jacob is on the back of his teammate, and I think his teammate is going to give him the nod, the seal of approval to get the overtake done without much resistance here.
Well, they're coming into the corner, but I think a little bit of a lock-up here from Jacob, but I think they are... I mean, they have to work together. I mean, Alfredo has 11 laps old hard tires, and Jacob is on a 6 lap old medium, so they really have to work together here.
I mean, I don't think Alfredo is going to fight this. I think he's going to gladly pass the P5 on to his teammate, as it looks like that's exactly what's happened as through the mist of the lag on that back straight. Jacob giving the nod, and he is up in the P5, and this is honestly, he's been so consistent throughout the season as Jacob. He's probably deserved this. Of course, this will only be his second race of the season where he has not finished on the podium. Of course, last week was the first time where that happened and he finished P4. So I don't think anyone could say that Jacob is not a deserving champion. But it is going to be very interesting what happens now for the rest of the season. Does Jacob now do everything he can to try and help Alfredo get the best results possible?
I think he will definitely try to secure the his teammates' position. As I think that the the manufacturer's standings will also... I think, are they sealed after that? No, not quite, right?
I don't believe so, no. I think right now, I believe Jacob still has the fastest lap. I'll just quickly double check that. Yeah, Jacob does still have the fastest lap. So that is 19 points that is gained for the Alpines. And of course, the Williams are gaining 37 out of this at this current stage in the race.
So so that's the thing. I think that will be the thing he will be very concentrated about for the rest of the season, to get this Alpine team also the manufacturers championship. And
but this could make things a bit difficult, though. Josh is now within DRS range of Zondel.
Well, he worked his way throughout the field, or at least he closed the gap until 1 second right now. He's not quite yet DRS, but I think at the back straight he will have the DRS wide open, and maybe he can start an attack right there.
Well, we will quickly have to have a little look at the Constructors' Championship and that to see what the outcome is there. But the Drivers' Championship, as we're on the penultimate lap of the race, about to begin the final lap here in Miami, round 10. It looks like the Drivers' Championship is going to go the way of Jacob, and it would be a thoroughly deserved championship at that. And can Josh get himself P2, which of course will help him out massively in trying to get himself in that battle for P3 in the championship?
Yeah, so Jacob now is on P5 with the fastest lap. So I don't know, here in the table it says Kinney must finish P9 then, otherwise Jacob wins the championship. So I'm a little bit confused right now.
I think that might be the other way around. I think it's
that could be true. That could be true.
Yeah, because of course 55 points coming in tonight. In order for the championship to be sealed, 43 points the gap needs to be. And at this current moment in time, Jacob is scoring 10 points and Kinney scoring 20. That is a 10-point swing for Kinney, which of course takes it down to 45 points, the gap. And then of course you add the fastest lap in there as well as 46 points with a maximum of 42 available, it is mathematically impossible for Kinney to come back after that. But for the final time, we are going to see Kinney come through the final couple of corners, but we're going to stay on board just to make sure to see if Josh can get through as well. Is Josh going to get through? He's around the outside. Around the outside, Kinney will come through and take the victory here. And he can't make it. Josh has to hold on for P3 as Zondel holds on to P2. Salo will come through in P4. And finishing in P5, your P2 Drivers' Champion, Jacob, with a massive result here. Larkin is going to jump ahead of Lukey. So Larkin up into P6, Lukey down to P7, Alfredo P8. Chris will come through and collect P8 off Alfredo. Alfredo down to P9 now. And Mokri will come through to take that final spot inside the top 10. Jonas in 11th. Kermit will come through to take home the final point paying position in P12. And then Rowe, I'm not sure if that was, yeah, a bit of a moment there. I'm not sure if that was a reset the track or a bit of lag on my end. But Rowe will come through and collect P13, but I believe he will have the fastest lap outside of the top 10, which is a point for him. But yeah, I mean, a championship decider that absolutely was in the balance going all the way until that final stint. But once Jacob put on the set in the mediums and started to carve his way through, he did take the championship in the end. As I am on a black screen again, I think I'm not going to be able to go through the final positions. In fact, no, there we go. We got the podium celebrations there. So let's quickly go through the final classifications. Here's, of course, Kinney with the race win, with Mr. Zondel in second place, Josh in third, Salo in fourth, Jacob, the champion here in P2, in fifth with the fastest lap, and of course Larkin in sixth, Lukey in seventh, Chris in eighth, Alfredo ninth, and Mokwi rounding out the top 10. In 11th we have Jonas, and the final points paying position goes to Kermit. And then, of course, we got Rowe in 13th place with the fastest lap outside of the top 10. And now our two non-finishers were both of the Red Bulls in Santi and, of course, Papa Squanch.
So, we have to decide our driver of the day. Who wants to start? Do you want to start?
Joe, I went first last week, so I will allow you to go first this week.
Okay, I think it's obvious. I have Jacob, and I have him because he drove a great race. He had a great season, a very consistent season, and yeah. First of all, I want to know, how does it feel to be a winner, and yeah, how did it feel to like have your last race and play that big game of chess with your strategy, and yeah, that I will convert that into a great question later.
Okay, well, I think my driver of the day, honestly, it has to go to our race winner in Kinney. And my question to Kinney is, incredible race, mate. You had the pace out there today. Fantastic in the first stint to carve your way through the field. Did you think that there was a chance that the championship could have gone on to Abu Dhabi, or was you always thinking that the championship was wrapped up here tonight? So that would be my question to Kinney, and I'm quickly just going to have a little look at the constructors just to do some math real quick. So it was P9 in the end for Alfredo, and I believe that is 2, 3, 4 points there. So that's 15 points in total gained by the Alpine shirt tonight, which puts him on 225 provisionally, of course. And obviously Williams picking up P1, P2, 37 points, puts him on 54, 74, 174. which is, what, 51 points the gap with a... Yeah, I believe, yeah, it is still mathematically possible for Williams to overturn Alpine in the constructor. So that championship is still alive. But the Drivers' Championship right now is the way of Jacob, and what a season he has had. Of course, as mentioned earlier, this is his only second time this season where he has not finished on the podium, and it's just incredible from him. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and interestingly, it was that race which sealed his championship, ironically. So, yeah, I loved it. I loved the race. To be honest, it was really, like I said earlier, it was like really they were like playing chess. There has nothing to be decided in the steward's room or any bad incidents or something. It's just they really had their minds on the track and they fought for it, and that was great.
Well, we don't know yet if anything did happen in terms of what's called Stewart's instance. Of course, we'll find out later in the week. Obviously, in the chat right now, we just got word that Luki had force feedback issues and wing damage. So that is what's happened to him, which is unfortunate there for Luki. Of course, he was on for a great result, but now is going to be under pressure to finish third in the championship. Of course, next week, though, we do go to round number 11 in Abu Dhabi. Of course, a very different track, a bit more forgiving, I'd say, Abu Dhabi. Of course, you have a bit of runoff where you are not going to damage your wing if you do run a little bit deep into a corner. But a very fun and fast-flowing track nonetheless at Abu Dhabi. Are you looking forward to it?
Yes, I'm absolutely looking forward to it. It's one of my favorite tracks. It has great history, and also a little bit like Miami, you have these one or two corners which really can kill your race, and you have to be 100% concentrated for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, before we wrap things up tonight, again, a massive thank you to our sponsors and partners here at Delta.app. One Hub Racing, of course, our title sponsor at Delta.app. Next Level Racing, Sim Racing Setups, Pure Sim Gear, Vespertwin, our partner, and of course Sim Grid as well. And finally, our charity, the Mental Health Foundation. But that is going to wrap things up here tonight. I have been Michael Edwards, he has been Max, and we'll catch you next week for round number 11 at Abu Dhabi. Until then, guys, it's goodbye from the pair of us.
Goodbye.